Hi everyone, welcome to Penn State Sports Night. Glad you all could join us. I'm your host, John Keenan, alongside Hunter Pickoff and Noah Chast. Tonight, we're going to talk about if it is time to panic for some teams, players, and coaches around the NFL. Let's start with the first one. Jay Gruden of the Washington Redskins. Another week, another loss for them. Hunter, how would you feel about, is it time to panic for him and his job as a head coach?
I think it is time to panic for him in terms of his tenure with the Washington Redskins, and I understand. That being said, though, I kind of look more as a trickle-down effect. Bruce Allen, the president of the Redskins, and just the Washington's front office is very, very bad. They're not good. I think Jay Gruden can get the best out of players. It kind of runs in the family with John, of course. And at the end of the day, I think, according to Hall of Fame head coach Jimmy Johnson, he thinks he will get another head coaching job somewhere else. So I'm going to take his word for it. He's a pretty credible guy. So I'm going to say that he will get a job. It may not be this season, but he'll be a hot commodity on the market next season.
I'm going to have to disagree with you, Hunter. It is time to panic as for his head coaching career. He only has 2 winning seasons in his 6 seasons with the Redskins. That's not good for head coach. And in his only ever division title where he went to the playoffs, lost in his first game to the Packers. You can't do that as a head coach. That won't get you another job. And he has that talent in the locker room. He's had Deshaun Jackson, Jordan Reed, Garrett Parsons. He's had talent. He just hasn't made the most of it. And even in the year where Pierre Garcon and Deshaun Jackson each had 1,000 yards receiving, he didn't make anything of it. Will he maybe get an offensive coordinator job? Sure, but he will not be a head coach again.
Great points, guys. Let's move on to our second topic, Joe Flacco of Denver. Is it time for him, Noah, I don't know, move on, or how's his quarterback?
Well, you know what? I'm not going to lie to you and tell you he's elite because I'm not a liar, but he still deserves to be a starting quarterback in this league. Yesterday, or Sunday, he was just caught up in the Minshew mustache mania, okay? He did everything he could in that game. He had a 99 overall rating. He threw for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, and even led them to the go-ahead touchdown with 1:30 left. That's all you can ask for from your quarterback, and it's not really his fault that his team lost that late. And I've got 3 names for you: Kirk Cousins, Andy Dalton, and Derek Carr. If their jobs aren't in question, then Joe Flacco's should not be.
Look, my phone actually runs on Joe Flacco time, and right now it says it's time for him to ride the pine. So at the end of the day, look, this Denver team actually has talent, all-pro talent, on both sides of the ball here. He still hasn't gotten the job done. I get he has a great playoff resume, but you actually have to get there first to prove it. I think John Elway in general does not have a great taste in quarterbacks. I know he's one of the best to ever sling that ball, but he hasn't had a competent quarterback since Peyton Manning, and he's been retired quite some time doing some Papa John commercials. So I'm not sold on Joe Flacco. Look, Lamar Jackson replaced him last year. They drafted a kid in Drew Lock, who I'm a big fan of, out of Missouri this year, and I think we're going to see the same thing after an 0-4 start.
Another good one. Moving on to teams. The Rams had a great start to the season so far, but this weekend they actually had an upsetting loss to the Buccaneers. They lost 55-40. Noah, is it time to panic for them?
I'd say in the short term, no, but the long term, yes. So they're going to get over this loss. They'll move on. They're going to win next week and win down the stretch. But I think there's some tall tale signs that Jared Goff may not be the quarterback everyone thinks he is. And Todd Gurley in the running game is also questionable. He is yet to have over 100 yards in one game this season. Jared Goff, he has one of the most explosive offense and one of the smartest head coaches in the league when he's faced with any adversity. He seems to crumble under the pressure. And let's talk about that defense that got lit up by the Buccaneers. And it's by Jameis Winston, who had a career day, but it's also Jameis Winston. That's not a quarterback that normally plays like that. So there's some serious questions in the long term for this Rams team.
I'm going to say this. 55 points is really bad. But you know what? Don't panic. Remain calm here. The Rams offense still did put up 40 points. I am a little concerned with Todd Gurley in the run game because at the end of the day, you know, that arthritis in his knee is pretty bad, and I'm sure the Rams are scratching their heads like, oh no, why did we sign him to a long-term deal like we did? But look, this team is star-studded on both sides of the ball. I'm not completely sold on all the teams in the NFC West just yet. I think they're still the favorites to potentially even get a bye week during the playoffs as well. And at the end of the day, they have A-plus coaching. They have a front office that I can trust. And you know what? It's one game. They can redeem themselves in a rival game this Thursday night against Seattle. So, hey, if they win that one, they're 4-1. That's a pretty good spot to be in.
Another team I want to get your opinions on, the Cowboys. They also had a very impressive start, but they played super poorly this weekend against the Saints, who were actually down Drew Brees. How do you guys feel about that, Hunter?
I'm not big panicking, but I'm definitely a little panicking because they did not look very good against the Saints. Look, Teddy Bridgewater, he's a very good backup quarterback, but they didn't even score a touchdown rather, against the Cowboys, which defensively they did show up. However, when Dak Prescott can't, make that clinching, game-winning drive against a team that doesn't have a Hall of Fame quarterback in Drew Brees, that does scare me a bit. And also with the Eagles pulling off the upset, the Giants winning, it's not as clear that they're the clear-cut favorite. They could have really separated themselves from the NFC East this offseason, or not this offseason, during this season, during week 4, and they just didn't do that. So I think, it's not the end of the world. I think the Cowboys are a very good team. But, I think you got to look at yourselves in the mirror a bit because they did not play well.
This kills me to say, but it's not time to panic for the Cowboys. Dak, it was Sunday night. He played a good team in a tough road arena, and he didn't play well. That's clear. But you can't expect every game after this, the best O-line in the league and the highest paid running back and one of the best in the league, Ezekiel Elliott, to play the way they did. They're going to get better. And that defense was the high point of that team last night. Leighton Vander Esch seems to be everywhere on the field, and he's just making tackle after tackle and play after play. They have a tough schedule to go the rest of the season, but all in all, it is one of the most well-rounded teams in the league, and they're going to figure it out.
Amazing input from these guys. Can't wait to see which predictions stand the test of time as the season progresses. But that's all for us here at Penn State Sports Night. For Hunter Pickoff and Noah Chast, I'm John Keenan, and we will see you next time.
Thank you for watching our latest edition of Penn State Sports Night. If you're a fan of our content, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more clips. Also follow us on Twitter at PSSN TV and on Instagram at PSU Sports Night to keep up with the action. For all my colleagues, we are Penn State Sports Night.